What's up everybody, BigSweetC here with you. Got a special little video for you today. Today I am talking about Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Depending on who you talk to, a lot of people seem to generally think that this might be the worst Dark Souls game. Now, I do somewhat agree with that. It is probably my least favorite of the Dark Souls games, having just the way that it plays out, the way that it plays out. There was a certain love of the first one where all of the levels kind of mixed together, right? No matter where you went, there was always some sort of back exit that brought you right back to where you were starting. And that connection in the world was fascinating. The battle system was pretty good, even though there was a little bit of clunkiness, and you could get these, if you were good enough at it, you know, if you had practiced enough, it was almost guaranteed that you'd get a backstab every time somebody attacked, and you were able to roll out of the way. So there were issues with it that everybody dislikes about it, but generally speaking, I'm probably not that far off when I say that it is the best one in consideration of all Dark Souls video games. Dark Souls 3 had the unique opportunity to kind of build on an engine that was already there and then perfect it. They moved into the 3D world, so it was a lot less clunky. The graphics were upgraded a lot, so it didn't have that kind of like pixel look to it. It looked a lot sharper, a lot cleaner, and it just generally, the mechanics worked better. Now, because of the mechanics, it's probably my favorite Dark Souls game to play, just because it's so smooth. Having said all that, going back and revisiting Dark Souls 2 has greatly increased my appreciation for that game. If you don't know, it was my first foray into the Dark Souls franchise. I had never played Dark Souls before that. Dark Souls 3 hadn't yet come out, and then I had missed the initial Dark Souls 2 release. I didn't jump in until the Scholar of the First Sin edition came out, when my brother picked it up for Xbox One, and slowly but surely convinced me to play this game. And I'm really glad he did, because it was a very, very fun, aggravating, and enlightening experience, if you will. It was the first game that I really kind of struggled with, and before that it was mostly RPGs and sports games that are pretty easy. Yeah, you might kind of struggle till you figure out the controls, but once you figure out the controls, it's all downhill from there. Whereas Dark Souls, not only do you have to figure out the controls, but you also have to fight progressively tougher and tougher battles as you go along. And so it challenges you at every phase of the game, as opposed to just in the beginning, like most of the games that I had been used to. On top of that, there's not a whole lot of direction in the game, so unless you absolutely know where you're going because you've watched a playthrough or a walkthrough, or because you have a friend that carries you through it, you're generally just in this world walking around trying to figure out what to do, and that can make it difficult as well. So it was quite the enlightening experience. I had never played a video game like that before, and I immediately fell in love with it. When Dark Souls 3 came out, because of the controls, I kind of immediately assumed that Dark Souls 2 was kind of like a bad egg. Dark Souls 3 was really how it should have been, and I didn't get a chance to appreciate Dark Souls 2 for what it is, because the mechanics are there for a reason. At first I just thought it was bad game design, bad development. You have this old school engine on a new 3D platform, and you didn't bother to upgrade anything. You didn't bother to update anything to make it smoother, less clunky. But I think that's kind of the point. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't meant to be smooth. The game has an inherent bias against the player. It's built into the game to make you struggle. And that's the beauty of the game, because it's a game about struggle. And so it forces you, regardless of what level you are, to struggle, whether a little bit or a lot, or you know, none during this time, but definitely during this time. The game is meant to be a struggle. And in that sense, if you look at it that way, it was a complete success. I mean, I've never had a singular game, Dark Souls from Software included, where it was so much struggle for a needless reason, only to understand and broaden your horizons once you completed that struggle. It is a game within a game, and the beauty of that juxtaposition is the fact that it puts the player, not just your character, that your player in the position that your video game character is in. And it's truly fascinating how they do that. I've played the game 100 times now, and you know, I've gotten all the trophies on Xbox. I've gotten most of them on PlayStation and PC now. So I have put hundreds and hundreds of hours into this game, and I still get that struggle feeling from time to time. And it's that struggle, it's that strife, it's that accomplishment that you don't really get in any of the other games. Sure, Dark Souls 3 is fun to play because you can get through it fairly fast. You know, it's smooth, it transitions well. The boss fights are fun because it's not as clunky or slow-paced. Dark Souls 1 still has its beauty because it's the original. They held it intact. They didn't decide to move it into a 3D world. They wanted to keep the original idea, the 360 engine, the PS3 engine intact. And then you kind of have this hybrid in the middle with Dark Souls 2, and it forces you to go through the pain and the agony and the growth that your character goes through. And that to me is actually a great achievement, because it's not just about the game, it's about the experience, it's about the immersion. It is about putting yourself in your character's position and overcoming the odds. And in that way, it's genius. There are a ton of really good fights. You know, the Old Iron King is a really fun one because you're in this like little platform that you have to kind of stay in this limit. You've got Scorpioness Najka, who like jumps under the ground and starts moving around and then pops up underneath you. You've got others where it's like the old Rat King. He's got these little rat babies that are with him. He's this big giant version of Sif from the first game. You've got Nishandra, who is a slow-paced, like heavy swinging, almost like a Painted World type of boss fight. Vendrick is another one where you have this kind of slow-paced, back and forth, almost samurai-esque type fight. Speaking of samurai-esque type fights, you literally fight a samurai in one of the in the DLC, in one of the added levels. And then they really expanded on the idea of what can happen should an Ember or an Ashen one, if you will, decide to not light the fire. You know, you have this great character study of two brothers, Vendrick and Aldea, who are not just trying to beat the curse, but defeat the curse. They find out how to do it, but they don't know how to spread it to everyone else, right? So they get it down to, I can save myself, but I can't save everybody else. And so you have this great story. You have this prolonged immersion with you being in the character's place. And it really does make for a fascinating video game. And having gone back and played it, we're kind of playing it right now. I'm trying to help our friend of the channel, Scavenger, through it. And so we've been playing it a lot lately, and having gone back and played that, It really kind of enlightened me to what I was missing out on. And I'll finish this up by saying I strongly encourage, if you are a Dark Souls fan, or if you jumped onto if you were fortunate enough to get a PS5 and you got into Demon Souls, get yourself Dark Souls 2 and see how that game plays out as well. It is a fascinating game that I didn't give enough credit to at the time. I don't think many people give credit to now because it's kind of lost to time. But I do think it deserves its day in the sun, and it wasn't created by From Software. I think it was Havoc that created it, but it's definitely deserves its place in the From Software repertoire library of games. And I just wanted to say that now because a lot of people ask what my favorite, which my least favorite is, and even though I kind of think this one is not quite as good as the others, I wouldn't necessarily put it below like Dark Souls 3 or even Bloodborne. Now we're also playing Sekiro. Sekiro has been phenomenal. I think I'd probably put Sekiro up with like Dark Souls 1, and then kind of everything else underneath that. But before, up until recently, it was easily Dark Souls 2 at the bottom and then everything above that, and I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. Dark Souls 2 definitely deserves to be on that same pedestal of the second tier of stuff. You've got Sekiro and Dark Souls at the top, and then you've got Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne kind of at that second tier, and it absolutely deserves to be there. So do yourself a favor, check it out. If you can find it on sale, even better. I have it on all three platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Well worth buying it on all three platforms. And do yourself a favor and check it out. And I apologize to the Dark Souls 2 crew for thinking that it was not what it is. So either way, if you happen to agree, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell so you know when I do drop a new video or go live. If you don't agree, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and then drop a comment as to why I'm full of crap, so we can get a dialogue going. That'd be fantastic. Either way, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Thank you so much for checking out the video. That's going to do it for this one. BigSweetC, that's me. Wishing YouTube, that's you. Wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it might be. As long as you're watching, I'm wishing you a wonderful watching time. Sweetness, signing off. Peace.